The course of history has changed dramatically. Russia invaded Ukraine. That has shaken Europe to its core. The European Union had been established to prevent such a thing from happening. Even when the fighting stops, as it eventually must, the situation will never revert to what it was before. The invasion may have been the beginning of the Third World War, and our civilization may not survive it.
Welcome to the Cryptoteacher. And guys, I come back with that video just to make you think. And we know all about George Soros. George Soros, the king of the think tanks. And guys, we hear those drums are beating. George Soros says civilization might not last. And we know this is nothing but the Hegelian dialectic. We know where they want us to go. The fourth industrial revolution, where the robots, algorithms, and drones take over the economy. And teamwork makes the dream work. They're sent to me in my Patreon. Walmart gives access to over 4 million people in the U.S. with drone delivery. And what do I keep telling you? During this summer, everybody's going to be out partying, spending money, going on vacations. There's nothing wrong with having a little fun if you can afford it. But if you know you can't, you need to be in the lab. And if you can, you still need to be in the lab, because we know what they're about to do. They're about to have a mass layoff across this country. It's going to be amazing. Yes, will this technology open up new opportunities? Yes, it will. But like Jerome stated, a lot of people are going to get left behind. What are they going to do? Airdrop them that free money. And we know when it comes to NWO, nothing is free, but the sheep are going to fall for it. And they're going to go inside the metaverse and they're not coming out. And we see Bitcoin taking a beating. And yes, it's going to continue on taking a beating, because we know what the Fed has to do. They have to destroy this legacy market in order for the digital market to rise. And we know this programmable money gives the New World Order the power to tell you what, where, and when and how to buy. Plus, blockchain gives them the all-seeing eye. And remember, the crypto teacher told you, because he knows. When it comes to the New World Order, it's all planned out. You have a wonderful day.
Put on your hat as an investor, Glenn, and tell me, when you're thinking about all these things, what makes sense in the market? Do you buy some of those stocks that have gotten hit so hard, especially after what we heard from Snap yesterday, just really kind of taking, without any discretion, all of those technology names, all of those social networks down?
It's a good question. So first is, obviously, if the way I think the buying opportunity in the near term might be distressed sellers of good assets, good money after bad kind of thing. For instance, one of my views is the reason why Bitcoin has gone down so much, and I'm not saying buy Bitcoin, I'm just using it as an example, is because people have been selling Bitcoin to cover their losses in other parts of the crypto universe, which are less good. And so there'll be examples of good stocks that will go down because people aren't selling that stock because of its stock itself, but because they need the liquidity in the good positions to cover their problems in the bad ones. That's an historic problem. That's why correlations go to 1.0 in these types of periods. But that said, on the other hand, if you really do believe, if your base case, again, I'm not making a prediction, I'm just thinking through scenarios. If your base case is you're worried about a recession in 23, you would go from the PE effect that we've seen today on the stock market to the E effect in 23, as stock prices could come down again as a result of earnings projections being lowered. S&P 500 earnings are very, very high on a historical basis. You know about the Buffett ratio, about market cap of companies relative to the GDP. That's high on a very historic basis. There's lots of room on historic data for this economy to come down, for this market to come down, if there is, in fact, a recession, and that does, in fact, go through the earnings, and those earnings adjustments come in the coming year. So that's what I'd be worried about is we have had the PE effect now. Is there an E effect coming later?
Congratulations on this new fund. It's a big one. but it's also coming at a time when crypto, as you know so well in the world of NFTs, in terms of valuations, has fallen quite precipitously. And so I'm very curious, as you were raising this fund, when that was happening and what the conversation dialogue has been like over the last several weeks.
Thanks so much. We're super excited. As you mentioned, this is our fourth fund, $4.5 billion, which brings our total investment in the space to over $7.5 billion. And we really think that speaks to the size of the opportunity. We've really had many years of work in the making to bring us to this point, and we view Web3 as the next computing platform and major technology platform. So our investors and our portfolio companies are very much dedicated to the mission, regardless of where we are in the market cycle.
We're going to a different economy, and we're going to be learning more about that as we go. But clearly, we're learning that things can be done from remote locations. We're learning that technology can replace people even more than we thought.
We're not going back to the same economy. We're recovering, but to a different economy, and it'll be one that is more leverage to technology, and I worry that that is going to make it even more difficult than it was for many workers.
In Silicon Valley, and my friends who work in technology know that what we did to the manufacturing workers, we are now going to do to the retail workers, the call center workers, the fast food workers, the truck drivers, and then even bookkeepers, accountants, insurance agents, lawyers, and on through the economy. So what happened to the manufacturing workers is a very clear sign.
This effort, and China has big plans for this. They intend to seed their digital yuan into the global environment by giving it away to visitors at next winter's Olympics. When they arrive at the airport, they're going to get yuan digital wallets. They're going to receive digital yuan. They're going to use it throughout their visits to Beijing, and then they're going to take it back to their home countries. They see this as a huge advantage. Why? Because who controls the underlying protocols, who controls the underlying standards of the future of money will control the future of money.
Most powerful person in the world is the storyteller. The storyteller sets the vision, values, and agenda of an entire generation to come. Steve Jobs. And guys, you know I truly believe in this. When you look at the New World Order, they're the storytellers. And that's the reason why I wrote my New World Order book. But guys, now it's time to change the current generation. And I wrote 3 kids' books. You know I love the Trinity because I understand the power that's in it. So I have 3 books. We have an opportunity to change the generation, to educate, not just me, but I want to show you that I take action on a daily basis. And I want you to take action on a daily basis. Whether it's your job, whether it's in your community, we have an opportunity right now to educate the masses. I posted this on my Twitter account. Please share, but this is a short clip of the 3 books. There's going to be a clothing line and action figures. Please get these books for your kids, nephews, cousins, friends, so therefore we can start the re-education now. Because as we see, the 4th Industrial Revolution foundation is definitely here. Robots, algorithms, drones, taking humanity out the picture. We have to re-educate. But let's get into the video.
Part 1. King Joshua and Grandma Tam save the village. Part 2. King Joshua and Grandma Tam save New York from COVID-33. Part 3. King Joshua and Grandma Tam goes to China.
It's mandatory to get part 1, part 2, and part 3 of this series. It's time to re-educate Generation Z.